Hello everyone, Lytro Storm here, and today we are bringing back What If Vegeta Rebelled Early with Part 4. There's a few things I have to change with Part 3, but first let's recap that part, so make sure you watch the other parts before it. So in our last rendition of this story, we had Raditz and Mai spend the time after the Saiyan Saga together, resulting in their marriage. The Earthlings all headed off in Kami's ship, including the stronger-willed Yajirobe, due to Raditz pushing him to train more back whenever they were training under Kami. However, Raditz, Goku, and Piccolo all went in the gravity ship, and right after they left, Mai found out she was pregnant. I let you all pick what the child or children were like, and I'll reveal it toward the end of the video. Vegeta and Nappa had disposed of Zarbon, Dodoria, and Kui, and eventually had to team up with the Earthlings to defeat the Ginyu Force. Raditz, Goku, and Piccolo arrived and bodied Ginyu, however Goku still got hit by the swap, resulting in him being healed in a healing tank. So that was the recap, but now I want to get into a few retcons. For starters, the Earthlings' power have shifted around, because I found out that the image trading Krillin and Gohan did in canon is what gave them the increase they got. Their power levels are on screen right now. And next would be Raditz, Goku, and Piccolo. Since Goku and Piccolo aren't training with the Earthlings as they're all just recovering and relaxing, they are a bit weaker than I stated them to be when they leave for Namek. This results in their boost from gravity training changing, and thusly their power levels as well, which are once again on screen along with the current crew. But now that we've got all that out of the way, we can finally start continuing our story. But before we begin, as always, be sure to join my Discord and follow me on Twitter, links in the description. Alright, so we begin with Raditz talking to the Z Fighters and Vegeta and Nappa. He tells them that there's a Namekian energy that's losing its life a while away. The one doing that is obviously Frieza, and even though none of them can match him in a one-on-one scenario, together, he, Vegeta, and Nappa should be able to win. It's their duty as Saiyans to avenge their fallen race. The Saiyan Prince is actually smirking at this, remarking that Raditz has finally grown a spine. Piccolo then says that he wants to go along as well, as he needs to avenge all the Namekians that were killed. The Earthlings also want to go along, and so Raditz enlists Dende, Yajirobe, and Chaozu to stay and guard the Dragon Balls and the healing Goku. They then finally head off toward Frieza. When Nail's about to be finished, he reveals to Frieza that the Dragon Balls have already been taken, with the password revealed due to Dende. The Emperor stormed off and ran straight into Vegeta. Behind him were Raditz, Nappa, Piccolo, Tenshinhan, Krillin, and Yamcha. Vegeta tells Frieza that he is about to be dethroned, and so Frieza gives them one last chance to submit and let him have the Dragon Balls, but obviously they refuse. The Emperor of the Universes releases all of his power and lunges at Vegeta, who actually manages to catch his wrist just barely like in canon. Nappa and Raditz then rush in from the sides and hit him with blasts before Vegeta hits him onto the ground. From this, Piccolo could see that they were going to win, and thusly left to go check on the falling energy nearby. The three Saiyans, now once again united, were strong enough to match Frieza despite his overall strength advantage. Vegeta laughed, saying that the Earthlings and Namekian hadn't even stepped in yet, so he might as well transform. Frieza is shocked that Vegeta knows he can transform, and so the prince reveals that Zarbon let it slip, as well as that Dodoria had told him that Planet Vegeta was personally destroyed by him. The Emperor laughed at this, yelling that it was all true, before powering up into his second form. With this, his power level eclipses 1,000,000. And he begins bodying the Saiyans. The Earthlings step in as well, but unfortunately, even with all their efforts combined, they are just too far under Frieza. Meanwhile, Piccolo has arrived to find the injured Nail on the ground. He sees him and attempts to lift him up off the ground and carry him back to the ship to get him healed, but Nail told him to stop. The Namekian explained that he wouldn't make it there, and so Piccolo asked what he wanted him to do. Nail responded that he could increase his power exponentially if he became one with Piccolo. Piccolo is shocked by this, but decides to do it after Nail says that it won't affect his personality. This drastically increases our main Namekian strength, putting him above Frieza's first form. However, he had just sensed Frieza was far stronger than before, so he had to hurry back to the crew. Speaking of which, the gang was all getting beaten down. Krillin managed to slice off Frieza's tail with a Destructo Disc, but that just resulted in him getting impaled by his horn, leaving him near death. All the others were beaten down, though not nearly as bad. Tenshinhan began telepathically communicating with Chaozu. He said that Krillin needs to be healed, and Chaozu says that the tank Goku's in is the only one. And that's when Dende reveals that he has a healing ability. Yajirobe grabs him and immediately begins darting toward the battlefield, with Chaozu tailing him behind. He let Tenshinhan know that their comrade wouldn't die today. Piccolo then arrived, preparing to take Frieza on. He took off his weights and immediately began doing his best, but he was clearly losing. Yajirobe and Chaozu arrived, bringing Dende to heal Krillin. Once Krillin is healed, Vegeta realizes that Dende could be useful in helping them beat Frieza. If he was put to a near-death state and then healed, it would drastically increase his strength. However, Raditz argues against this, saying that they shouldn't trust Vegeta as the strongest one among them, and Nappa decides to compromise by letting all three of them get a boost like that. The two agree, and Tenshinhan, Krillin, and Yamcha all blast the three Saiyans, letting them all be healed. First is Raditz, who easily begins bodying Frieza while Dende heals Nappa. Frieza quickly decides to power up into his third form, and Dende finally heals Vegeta. The three were massively stronger than ever, and Vegeta could easily handle third form Frieza on his own. That's when he decides to show his true power. Frieza amps it up to his final form and immediately disposes of Dende. Using only 2% of his power, he is enough to take on Vegeta, although he is actually losing to the Prince. He then cranks it up a few more percent and begins beating him down rather easily, resulting in Nappa and Raditz joining in. With all three of the Saiyans working together, they once again begin beating Frieza. Frieza doesn't take kindly to this loss and decides to jump straight up to 10%, which he uses to easily slap away all three of the monkeys. That was when Goku finally arrived. This Goku had a power level of 100,000 while healing, so we'll give him the same 33 times increase as in canon, bringing him up to 3.3 million. He is stronger than in canon, but also remember here that there is no Spirit Bomb or Kaioken. Goku charges at Frieza, but is easily slapped away due to the massive power gap. The other three Saiyans realize that not even Goku can save them, and thusly they rush into the fray once again to try to win together. But all four of them teaming up is still not enough to match Frieza. That's when Goku just asks for everyone to give him their energy. Everyone does, except Vegeta and Nappa, resulting in Goku only doing some minor damage to Frieza. Remember that in canon, Krillin and Gohan's energy made Piccolo go up from under third form Frieza to around base Goku level, and by that point Krillin was only 75,000 and Gohan was above first form Frieza due to a Zenkai. So giving energy must have some kind of exponential increase. This would also explain things like the Spirit Bombs being so much stronger than Goku and stuff like that. So we'll say you give double your power level and then combine with theirs. This would mean that now Goku, with the Earthlings, Piccolo, and Raditz's energy, wouldn't even be 9 million, while Frieza at 10% is 12 million. Vegeta and Nappa, seeing Goku begin to lose badly, would eventually contribute their energy as well, putting Goku over an astounding 16 million. He begins dominating Frieza, although the power drains away over time due to him straining it. Frieza takes the opportunity to show off even more power, revealing a third of his true might, now reaching 40 million. He easily begins dominating Goku even worse than before, and our hero is left on the ground, helpless. The Emperor then steps on the strongest Saiyan's chest and aims his finger at the crowd of warriors in front of him. Goku yells out, begging for him not to hurt anyone else but him, and Frieza jumped up and came back down on Goku's chest again. "Tell me, why would I settle for one of you when there's nothing you can do to stop me from hurting the others?" he said, stepping back onto the ground. He then began walking over to Vegeta, getting extremely close and smiling. Vegeta's chest burned bright with pink energy, and he fell onto the ground. The others wanted to help, but were too weak from giving Goku their energy. Goku struggled, trying to stand up, begging Frieza not to kill the others, but he was ignored. Frieza stood in between Raditz and Nappa, and everyone began firing at him, but none of their attacks made any impact. Raditz looked over to Goku and smiled. "See you soon, brother, no matter which side we meet on." And with that, Raditz and Nappa both meet their ends. Everyone is left with a look of utter fear and shock, and with that, Goku had finally stood up. Frieza turns around to witness the final Saiyan's will to fight break, but he was blown away to see that Goku just looked angrier than ever. He began to transform into a Super Saiyan, his battle power now 165 million. Goku yelled for everyone to take their bodies and fly off, and so they all did so. Goku then began bodying Frieza, forcing him up to 100% and blasting the planet. As Piccolo was flying through the air, he communicated with Kami telepathically, telling him to gather the Dragon Balls and wish for all the Namekians killed on Namek to come back to life, as the planet was doomed to be destroyed. He specifically wished for this so that the Saiyans' pride wouldn't jeopardize their escape, as he thought they might try to go back and fight Frieza. Once Dende was resurrected, the crew arrived at the ship where the Dragon Balls were collected. Piccolo contacted Dende, who was far away, asking what the password was, and Dende told him. Piccolo roughly summoned the Namekian dragon, and since he had been shown to speak Namekian in the 23rd Budokai, He wishes for everyone except Goku and Frieza to be teleported onto Earth. This happens, and Goku realizes that when he sees the sky turn black and Dende come back to life and then disappear. He smiles and proceeds to beat Frieza like in canon, only this time when Frieza fires back with Goku's energy, due to him being stronger than in canon, he actually ends up dealing more damage, to the point where only Frieza's eye and nose remain on his head, and his torso is halfway gone, along with his limbs. Goku then escapes to planet Yardtrap. Since there are still 2 wishes left on the Namekian Dragon Balls, they are used to bring back Raditz and Vegeta, as Nappa had decided to make the sacrifice and stay in Netherworld for 6 months. Kami assured him that he would be able to train with King Kai if he wished to, although he wasn't sure if it would help him any, so Nappa decided to do so, seeing no better option. He easily passed King Kai's training and decided to learn the Kaioken as well. After the 6 months were up, he was wished back with the Namekian Dragon Balls, and the Namekians went to New Namek during this time. During this time as well, Raditz was taking it easy. After Mai revealed that she had been pregnant since he left, he was happy and decided to focus all his time on her. That said, he also encouraged Yajirobe to continue training. Another 3 months passed by, and Raditz and Mai were finally getting to see their newborn children. That's right, children. I took the best suggestions I had gotten from you guys and gave my own spin on them. I then put my 2 favorite ideas on the community tab to let you guys decide, and you mainly voted for the twins, Icarus and Letta, named after iceberg lettuce. So that means Regine will not be coming to the storyline. Thanks to everyone who contributed these names and their personalities, which will be showcased when they get older. After another 3 months had passed, Raditz had finally gotten back into his training. He began training with Yajirobe while still focusing on his family. And during this time, Vegeta and Nappa trained, with Nappa able to push Vegeta more with the Kaioken. And once Mecha Frieza and King Cold had arrived, there's no Trunks to show up and save the day. That's because we're heading into the future timeline with this what if. Anyway, when they arrive, Vegeta and Nappa step in front of their ship. They then easily defeat all of their men, leaving just the cold bloodline. Frieza, due to having no mouth, has a thought transmitter that speaks out when he is thinking. He is shocked to see them alive, but will be happy to dispose of them once again. Vegeta and Nappa smile at each other, and the prince tells his comrade that he'll handle Frieza, so the king is all his. Nappa is happy with this, and the 2-on-2 battle begins. Frieza and King Cold are overwhelmed, but Vegeta tells them that they've gravely underestimated him. He laughs, asking if they really thought Kakarot was the only Super Saiyan. This shocks everyone in the area minus Nappa, and he powers up, his hair turning gold just like Goku's did. Cold then laughed, saying that either way Nappa didn't have a way to win against him, but the big Saiyan brute chuckled at that before yelling out Kaioken times 20. He and Vegeta then charged at their opponents and swiftly destroyed them without hesitation. Goku, sensing this, arrived with instant transmission. He was shocked to see Vegeta as a Super Saiyan, and also asked how Nappa got so strong so quickly. Vegeta saw this as the perfect time to get a fight with him, and Goku powered up into a Super Saiyan as well. Vegeta actually lands good blows on Goku, but the first Super Saiyan has the edge. In the end, everyone celebrates Goku being back on Earth, and head back home. Little do they know that in just 3 short years, Goku will be gone once again. And that's where we're going to end part 4. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I think it was a really good end to the Frieza arc, and I'm excited to move on with the future timeline in the next part. So this video should be coming out around Christmas time. I'm not sure if it's coming out Christmas Day or not, but just make sure that you have a good Christmas, and I hope it's been good if it already happened, and I hope it will be good if it's happening right now or if it's about to. But as always, like the video if you enjoyed, tell me what you think will happen next, comment your requests for future videos, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, have a great day.